Ooh. Hey y'all, what's going on? Welcome to I Was Her. I am doing it today on Instagram, so I'm really excited. Um it has been a day, y'all. So I ain't even gonna lie to you, ain't gonna hold you. So hopefully this will definitely bring the positive energy out. And so I'm really excited. I'm really excited to be with you guys. I Was Her. If you guys don't know the name of the game, hey everybody, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Great to see you. Great to see you guys. I know. Thank you so much, you guys. I have done my makeup for the day. But rough day for you too. Well, you know what, y'all? We are going to have a good night, okay? We're going to have fun. We're going to read some of these questions. And maybe, y'all, I will take some, what is it? People that requested me in the video, if somebody has a question, I will answer the question, okay? I'll actually have you come on and ask the question if you so dare. If not, because I just so you know, I will be posting the videos. So if you guys want to be a part of it, you would just know that if you come on live with me, I'm gonna post the video. So you just gotta know that. But if not, you could always DM me. That's where it's gonna be. My DMs are there. So if you guys want to ask me any questions, or DM me questions, I will answer them. But if you want to go live, you got to be legit live, because I will end that live. I don't know how to end lives that quickly, but I will be ending the live, okay? So, anyway, nonetheless, let us see what we got going on here. So let me see if we have any questions here. Let's see if we have any questions here. No questions yet. That's fine. But I will see what I have on my list. Okay. So, I don't want to watch me live. Oh, dang, I don't want to watch me live. Oh, y'all. Okay, you guys, so you are going to have to ask me questions live. That's what's going to have to happen, y'all. Or go ahead and DM me, and I will answer the questions on live. Okay, so if you can DM me, that'd be great. All right, so but again, my name is Samantha Lee, and I am a licensed clinical social worker, but I'm not working in that capacity tonight. Tonight, I am just answering questions that you have based upon my life experiences, based upon everything that I've got going on, or all my life, really all my life experiences, y'all, because I done been through a lot. But all of those things, I'm here and I'm going to answer the questions to the best of my ability and just be honest with y'all. So that is what I am doing today. So welcome to I Was Her. We are doing it today on Instagram because that was what y'all requested. So I hope you guys honor y'all word and show up for me tonight, okay? So anyway, let me go ahead and see if there's any questions in my, let me see if there's any questions here. I don't really see a whole lot of questions in my DMs. I don't see, and y'all, I'm looking for the thing that says I Was Her. But nonetheless, okay, so I'm going to go ahead. How do you deal with something that triggers you? How do I deal with something that triggers me? Y'all, oof, Jesus. How do I deal with something that triggers me? So when something triggers me, first off, for sure, I have to really pray about it. I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, like today I was triggered, but it's one of those things where I almost have to take into account, like once I get there, I have to take into account what exactly am I, like who do I want to be? And recognizing that I'm being triggered, recognizing that whatever I'm dealing with is a trigger, like I'm dealing with a trigger currently. And so that means when I'm triggered, that means something that I'm seeing is bringing me, or something that I'm experiencing, or something that somebody else did is making me feel a certain kind of way. And with me understanding that and recognizing that about myself, I then have to say to myself, okay, self, you realize that this isn't this event. This is because of everything else. And a lot of times is when I express this emotion to a friend. Because listen, y'all, I'm an emotional person in general. So a lot of times I have to phone a friend. I gotta phone a friend. I be phoning a friend. I be like, listen, sis, am I tripping? Am I sabotaging? Am I doing something? Like, is this real or is this just me? And I've allowed my friends and my people around me, my close circle of friends and my therapist, to really speak into me and say, sis, you're triggered. This is not the person this is not what you're dealing with. This is because of X, Y, and Z. And allowing people to speak into me and allowing people to keep me accountable for my actions. That is how I deal with triggers. Is like I allow somebody to trigger me, to tell me that I'm being triggered, or I express it to somebody else. Because y'all, I'm crazy. I mean, I'm not crazy like I'm going to like hurt you crazy. But I'm like crazy in the sense of like, I'm emotional crazy. Like I am an emotional being. I love very hard. I'm very, very loyal. I take things to heart. And so I am very, very big about, like having to call my friends when I'm really, really mad about something. I'm like, girl, am I tripping? And showing up, they'll be like, okay, Sam, you tripping. You're tripping. You got to calm down. Like, you need to go pray. You need to go put on some worship music. You've got to get it together because you're tripping. And you as a person, you have to also learn how to deal with triggers. You also have to recognize that you may not be dealing with what you're dealing with right now. You may be dealing with something that you've been hurt by in the past. And so sometimes like I have to eat that. I have to know that I might not necessarily be mad about what's happening in the moment. I might be mad about something that happened like, I might be mad at like my ex from 30 years ago. I'm 31, so I'm just being dramatic, y'all. But you know what I mean? Like I'm not in the moment. I'm upset about something else. So I have to own that, and I allow my friends to speak into my life, and I allow them to say and let me know when they feel like I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be also really be open to people's feedback and being held accountable for your actions. Okay. What advice or strategies have you used to consistently stay self-disciplined in all areas of my life? The advice that I would say in being, here's number one. When it comes to, I had to make sure that it was on Do Not Disturb. But a lot of times when it comes down to like my self-discipline and working out and things like that, like it's like setting my mind every day and keeping it set. Like I have got to keep my mind, like I have to wake up and make sure that I'm set. Like I've set my mind on, like first meditate, okay? Meditate. Focus on the here and now. Focus on my body. Focus on the internal. Then I get into priming, and then I get into prayer and devotional and allowing God to enter into that space, and allowing God, like once I'm focused and I'm ready, I want God to have the best of me. So I'm giving him the first moments of my day so that he's able to come in and really like help me to be a functional person, honestly, because if not, I'm an emotional wreck. If I don't do my prayer time in the morning, if I don't have my me time in the morning, y'all, like I'm not intentional about that, I am I can be very emotional. I'll be all over the place. I can become very anxious and a hard person to deal with, honestly. So I've got to for me to be consistent and for me to stay disciplined, I have to be intentional, and I have to take the time that I need to take for myself to be the best version of myself. If I don't do that, if I don't take that time for myself, it's very, very hard for me to set my mind and keep it set. But my advice to you guys, even when it comes to eating right, if it comes to working out, it comes to being your best version of yourself, if it comes to anything that you're trying to be consistent in, you have to really, really be intentional about what energy you're giving away, what energy you're keeping to yourself, and being intentional about not just giving your energy away or giving your mind away or giving the space that things that take up in your mind away, you know? So that's one thing. So somebody said they DM me. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna answer this question without asking the question like the way that it was asked. Um, how long would I want to wait to get married? How long would I wait to get married? That's the question, basically. How long would I wait to get married? And I think the magic number for me is 2 years. I wait 2 years. Like if it's starting a dating relationship into marriage is 2 years for sure. 2 years. Like I just want to really I really want to know the person. I really want to I think sometimes we rush down that aisle, y'all, and we're not ready for what marriage requires of us. We like the idea of being married, but we don't really understand the commitment and sacrifice it takes to be married. It's not just about having somebody with you. It's not just about having a companion. It's real work to be married. It's real emotional work. And if you're not ready to do that work, then it makes it very, very hard to, really make it work. I don't know how to say that, but you know what I'm saying? Listen, waiting 11 years? Girl, I don't know if I'm waiting no 11 years now. 11 years is a little... Sam ain't waiting no 11 years now. You got to take me off the market, okay? Period. End of story. If you dating me, you better take me off the market. You better take me off the market, okay? And I'm saying that from a situation where I got married in 6 months, 7 months. It was very quick. And I'm not saying that we didn't love each other, because that was not the case at all. Like, you know, that was true love and everything. But it's like I would just say to somebody else, really make sure you know the person, really make sure they've done their work, and make sure that you really doing what you've got to do for you. You know what I'm saying? So I would say 2 years. I want to see you through 8 seasons. You got to see me through 8 seasons, and I got to see you through 8 seasons, because I'm not easy either. Like, I'm not like the easiest woman to deal with in the world either. You know what I'm saying? I got my ways about me. You got to know how to handle me. So there's like it's a double fold. You know what I'm saying? You got to, but you know, there are good things, you know, but yeah, you got to do your work. You got to do your work, you know, so. What advice would I give a young woman on her boundaries and her identity? Here's the thing, y'all. You teach people how to treat you. I've been terrible in my life about creating boundaries. I've literally have been terrible about that because I'm empathic. So like I feel and I'm like, oh, but I love you. So I'm going to give you all of this. And I'm going to let you do all of this because I love you. And I just want to make you happy. But there's a certain level of, you got to be real with you at the end of the day. Like, okay, listen, I can't necessarily change who I am and what I'm passionate about or who I am as a person for somebody else, because then I'm going to hold it over your head. Like once all the roses have come by, and I see a lot of hearts, but once the roses have come past and we're no longer in a lovey-dovey space, then the real me comes out, and I'm really mad at you because I'm allowing you to take advantage of certain boundaries that I didn't create. And I'm mad at you because you stepping on those boundaries, but I never enforced those boundaries. So now I'm mad at you for something I should have made clear, that I should have said, that I should have done, that, you know, at the end of the day, that, you know, now I'm mad at the man I'm with, and it's not really his fault because I wasn't real with me. So I'm 100% going to be, I am very big about being transparent about who I am. I am who I am. It is what it is. Take it or leave it, love it or hate it. You ain't gotta have it. If you don't want it, somebody else. Like, listen, I believe I'm a gift from God, and I believe that the man that will love me and be with me is going to honor that gift. And but that also means that you have to, when it comes to a young woman and her boundaries and her identity, you first got to fall in love with who you are. Period. In the story. You can't necessarily. I just saw a interview online with a podcast called Dear Future Wifey, and a woman came on and she's big about self-love. I wish I remembered her name, but she's big about self-love, and she talks about how she truly couldn't love somebody else until she really fell in love with herself. And so once you fall in love with who you are, like, y'all, I'll be transparent with you. I've recently fallen in love with me. I've recently fallen in love with every aspect of who I am. I've fallen in love with it. I've accepted it. I feel like I just have just accepted it. I accept my hair, the sometimes begin on my nerves. I accept that no, it wasn't Jessica Reedy, it was another young lady. But like my teeth, my ears, my nose, my cheeks, my eyes, the way that my body is positioned, how my body is built. I have truly fallen in love from head to toe of who I am, period. And because I've fallen in love with who I am in every aspect of my being, from my external to my internal, and I've accepted that about myself, it helps me to create. It helps me to create boundaries, because now I understand my worth. Now I understand what I bring to the table. Now I know that when I go into something, I know exactly who I am. I know who I am as a wife. I know who I am as a girlfriend. I know who I am as a woman. I know who I am as a mother. I know all these different things about me, and I've grown to love and accept those things about me. And so I'm not going to accept some dude treating me no kind of way, because I know who I am. Okay, you gonna respect me. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at with it now. It's like you're going to have to you have to fall in love with you. You've got to fall in love with every aspect of you. And then move forward with that. Once you fall in love with you and fall in love with every aspect of your being, from your head to your toe, from your mental, from the one side of the brain to the other, then it makes it much, much easier to create boundaries and create appropriate boundaries for people. Because you love you. So you like, listen, you ain't finna come over here and treat me any kind of way. Look, I know exactly who I am, and I know you can search the 7 seas, but you will not find Sam again. And so that's how you got to feel about you. I feel like every woman should feel that way about themselves, you know? So that's that, you know. How do I protect my peace? You know what I've done, y'all? When I'm trying to protect my peace and really, really understand myself when it comes to protecting my peace, I'm an empath. I am an empath. Anybody else an empath on here? Anybody else like took the quizzes and everything like that? I am an empath. Search the 7 C's. Y'all heard me? Search the 7 C's. You ain't gonna find another Sam. But I mean, that's how I feel about myself. But you know, and somebody might feel differently. But anyway, nonetheless, that's how I feel about me. But like, you know, when it comes down to certain things, like protecting my peace, like, y'all, I've got to literally not even watch certain shows. I've stopped watching I used to love Law and Order SVU. Y'all, I can't watch Law and Order SVU. I get too emotional. I can't do it. I can't watch the news. I don't watch the news. I limit my access. Like, I stopped following certain blogs. I'm not hating on the blogs or anything like that, but I can't allow myself to take in that energy, because I soak it in like a sponge. And I've had to, when I look at like, what's it called? Like, yeah, I love Shade Room. I love what they've done. I really have. I love all these different women that have really made it for themselves. But y'all, I can't look at that stuff, because I get so caught up in other people's stuff, and I'm emotionally all over the place, and I'm feeling everybody else's energy, and I can't focus on mine, like, because I'm all in everybody else's stuff. So I've got to feed into my spirit what I want to put out. So I don't even listen to certain music, y'all. I stopped listening to certain music I stopped listening to certain music. I stopped listening to certain thing. Like I listen to mostly gospel music. I mean, literally, it's kind of people make fun of me. I listen to gospel music so much. I listen to gospel music most of the time. Um, I would honestly say 95% of the time. That doesn't make me a perfect Christian. That just means I literally have to listen to like gospel music. And number two, I limit my access to social media. I limit my access to what I'm following and what I'm watching. I limit my access to what even looking at messages and different things like that. When it starts off wrong, I ain't gonna read it. You know what I'm saying? I limit my access. I mean, I have to be very intentional about like what takes energy from me, what feels toxic, what doesn't feel right for me. And I have to literally like be very intentional about that and focus my mind on the things above. I talked about that on Monday with Miracle Monday. Like, what is lovely? What is true? What is purposeful? Like those things. Like, I've got to focus my mind and keep it set on protecting my energy. And I ain't gonna let nobody take that from me. So, that those are some of the things that I do, y'all. So I mean, I it is limited. I have limited my exposure, but once I learn more about being an empath, it's really helped me to protect my energy. So, you know, anyway, let me see. Let me refresh and see if there's any other questions that I find in here. Any questions? Okay, yeah, I do. I have a lot more questions. Here we go. Somebody, listen, y'all. Here's the thing. When you marry somebody, let me just be real. If you marry somebody, let me take going to another. My phone's already dying, y'all. That's crazy. But I got 20%, so I'm gonna get to 740 and I might change and try to hook it up or something. But what we gonna keep rocking. We gonna keep rocking and rolling. When I think today we have a misconception of when that love stops. That when you decide to end a relationship, that means you don't love that person anymore. And that's not true. It's not true. I can love you all day long. I could be in love with you. I could be crying every night because of how much I love you. But that's not going to keep me anywhere if I'm not being treated right. And that's me growing up and creating boundaries and things for myself. That is not to talk bad about anybody in my past. That's just who I am today as a woman. So when you ask if I love or not love somebody, I'm always going to love that person. I'm always going to love that person. Always. I'm always going to love that person. It's never going that's a part of me that will always be there. You know, we have a child together, that part of me will always be there. That's not a lack of love has nothing to do with that. Love doesn't stop. Love doesn't stop. Love doesn't stop. It's something that keeps going. It conquers all things. It's meant to be an unstoppable force. So, you know, just so you guys understand that. I don't know if that's, you know, but I don't, you know, it's like, oh, I love somebody, so I'm going to stay in this, people talking about, you know, they stay in an unhealthy relationships. No, I don't believe in that. Don't stay in nothing unhealthy because of a feeling. No. I mean, I'm going to fight for that because of that feeling, but at some point when God tell me to go, I'm going. You know, so, yeah, so don't, you know, that's what I'm saying. Okay. So I'm in a 20-year relationship. The love is no longer there because there was a couple years where there was physical abuse. How do I tell the person I no longer want to be in a relationship that no longer serves me? I just need a beginning to start a conversation to end it. Here's what I will say. There's two things I want to say to you. Number one, I realized not too long ago that I didn't necessarily feel love because I felt unforgiveness. Because I was so focused on unforgiveness and being angry and staying mad and holding my foot to the fire because maybe people didn't apologize the way I wanted to. Maybe people didn't, honor me the way I wanted to. Maybe there were certain things that I expected they didn't do. I held on to unforgiveness. So I didn't feel love because the offenses had just added up. You see what I'm saying? The offenses had just added up, And so there's this big wall of offenses. And I can't even see you over the offenses because I have built this wall of unforgiveness up. And so once I took the time to really heal and forgive, I felt the love again. But it was because I kept, you're in a relationship and you love and then you're hurt. You love and then you hurt. You love and then you hurt. You love and then you hurt. And then at that point, it's like, I can't even trust you with this love. So I'm going to build up these offenses to protect myself. I'm going to build up this wall of offenses so that I don't even feel love anymore. I've built up such a big wall. And it doesn't have to necessarily be anything, crazy, but you build up such a big wall that in our marriages and in our relationships, we can build up this huge wall that we're like this with the other person, just looking at each other, just like this. And we haven't forgiven. We don't be, and because we haven't forgiven, you're not feeling anymore. You don't feel love because all you feel is the wall that you've built to your partner. And so now you're in a position where you don't even feel like you love them no more. You are not emotionally connected. You ain't emotionally there. You just feeling like, I love this person, but I'm just not there. And the reality is you haven't truly forgiven them. You haven't taken the time. And sometimes it takes a time to walk away and go elsewhere and just give yourself the space to forgive. To then say, listen, you know what? Maybe I didn't take the time I needed to, and my heart was hardened. My heart was hardened to you. And because my heart was hardened to you, I no longer felt love. I knew I loved you, but I didn't feel love. I had hardened my heart. And so I think that focusing on softening that heart, and softening that heart is going to take the brick off of the wall in order for you to see that person outside of the offenses that you've built up. Because you build a fence of offense. Offense is like offense. If you think of the word offense, OFFENSE, offense. I built up a fence. And I no longer can see you or feel you anymore because my heart has been hardened. And I think that you have to work on unforgiveness. On your unforgiveness, but forgiveness and being able to feel love again because you've built up so much hurt. You built a fence. And then once you kind of once you take that offense down and you're able to see that person again and have that renaissance period, and you still feel like you don't want to do this anymore, then at that point, then you have a real conversation. You start off with listen, we done been through a lot. We done been hurt. You've hurt, it's just been a lot that's happened between us. And I just don't think this is a healthy space for me anymore, and I'm not trying to hurt you. I ain't trying to do anything. I just don't feel healthy. I don't feel like this is healthy for you. It's not healthy for me. And so this is where I'm at, and I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just don't, you could say that. And that person can say, okay, cool. Or they could say, what do you need me to do? Or they could say, there's a lot of different ways, but you just got to present hey, listen, this doesn't feel healthy for me anymore. I don't even when I'm in, and you have to be truthful. Y'all, in relationships, you've got to be honest, man. You've got to be honest about how you feel. You've got to be honest about where you are. You can't allow yourself to not be honest and not be transparent with the person that you are with because it prevents you from moving forward. I've made that mistake. I made the mistake to leave because of unforgiveness. And I didn't realize that really it wasn't that I wasn't in love. It was because I had built up such a big fence that I didn't feel love anymore. I just was in protection mode and not allowing that person in. And that's where I was at. And my heart was hard. And so I would honestly say to the next person, don't let your heart get hard. Don't let your heart get hard. Allow God in. Allow God into that thing and soften your heart and love the person that you are with for who they are. And love them, and just love them the best way you know how. I love hard. I'm a love hard type of person. And so I definitely know that my next situation, I'm definitely going to be a love hard type of person. I'm going all in, and really, really working and putting into practice loving without borders, and I've always my love for me in my life has always been with borders. I've had borders on my heart because in my life, people have loved me with a condition. There was always a condition. And so, therefore, I learned to love with conditions. I learned to love with borders. In the future, I will have boundaries, but I'm not going to love with borders. Okay. All right, next question, y'all. Ooh, let's question. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? What's going on? I know I'm in kind of rough, kind of down, charted, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody daring to go on this live with me? I'm gonna answer this last question, and I'm gonna go on live with somebody and hear what they gotta say. And again, you guys, if you go on live with me, it will be posted. So just know that I'm giving you guys the heads up. All right. So anyway. Moving right along. I'm in a 3. Oh, and typically, guys, this I Was Her is always on YouTube. This week I did it differently. I just wanted to mix it up. It's my 12th week of doing I Was Her. So I wanted to celebrate it and give you guys the opportunity to tell me whether you wanted me to do it on Instagram or on YouTube. But you guys have supported me literally, you've supported me. And so I gave the 12th week, 3 months of doing this thing. I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to come up in here and let's do this thing. So that's what this is about, y'all. So, yes. So, in a few minutes, I'm going to switch off because my phone's going to die and I'm going to do the other. Okay. So we're going to keep moving. It's my last question. I'm going to switch off. I'm going to save this live and then I'm going to go on and, with my charged up other device and, go from there. Okay. So anyway, all right. So next question. I'm in a 3-year relationship that from the beginning was good. A few fights, but nothing like now. I have 2 children with someone else. Okay, so I'm in a 3-year relationship that in the beginning was good. A few fights, but nothing like now. I have 2 children with someone else. I met this individual after. He has 5 children with other women as well. I'm very accepting of all his children. We've been fighting a lot lately because he has been jealous over my son's father, who told him lies about us still messing around, which is a huge lie because he wanted to get back with me. It turned our relationship upside down. It has gotten physical and I love him and I keep trying because I feel like this isn't his fault for feeling this way due to the lie my son's father told him. I'm getting mentally drained by these arguments. I don't know what else to do or how else to get him to stop believing those lies and move on from it. I hear everything. I kind of went out. I think I went out. I'm going to go back to the middle of that. Okay. 5, because I see people say 5 kids. I'm going to go with the 5 kids. He has 5 kids with other women as well. I am very accepting of all of his children. We have been fighting a lot lately because he has been jealous over my son's father, who told him lies about us still messing around, which is a huge lie. He wanted to get back with me. It turned our relationship upside down. It has gotten physical. And I love him and I keep trying because I feel like it isn't his fault for feeling this way due to the lie my son's father told him. I'm getting mentally drained by these arguments. I don't know what else to do or how to get him to stop believing those lies and move on from it. I have no contact with my son's father because of this. I have him drop and pick up my son from his grandparents. Should I keep fighting for the relationship, or is there no changing what this man has told him? So here's my thing. And a lot of y'all are already on the same wavelength I'm on. I see that. Once it turned physical, that's where we went left. Okay, so this is the situation. Here's the thing. In any situation, when you're dealing with somebody who has children with somebody else, there's a level of trust that you have to have with your partner, because you're dealing with you're dealing with the other women that could easily say certain things, or the man is dealing with another man. Those are very hard other parts, okay? Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's like, cool, we know we don't want to be together. We good. There's no issue here because we both have accepted that this does not work. That I have another person, this person has another person, so we good. We don't need it. We're good. Then there's relationships where the one party's like, I didn't want this relationship to end. So I'm for sure not going to be the person that's going to make this work easier. I'm going to make this a living hell because I still want the person that is moving on. That's one part. It's one or the other. It's either it's all good or it can be all bad. It's never like I want it, because they have a certain access to that person in a way that can be very intimidating. It could be very hard for someone to accept, especially a man with a woman, like a man with another woman, or a man with another man. Like, so if, let's say you as a woman, like for me, okay, like if I start dating somebody else, right, and I'm dating somebody else, I'm dating them, and then I obviously have a child with somebody else, that person is going to have to accept that I have a child with somebody else. There's another man that I had that type of connection with, which is hard for a man to accept. I think for us as women, it's easy for us to accept. It's like, oh, cool, we good. Like, we as women, we're good. We're better with accepting the fact that our partner has another child. But it's harder for a man to accept that you've had another child. You see what I'm saying? That's a little bit more challenging for a man to swallow that you've had a whole baby by another man. Okay, that's just harder. Just period. Here's where things went left. He allowed your ex to tell him something after a 3-year relationship. He told him something, and he basically said, I'm not going to believe you. I'm going to believe your ex over you. Even though in my mind as a woman, I would see if another woman is saying something to me about my man, look, I'm not going to believe you. I'm going to ask my man about it. And if he don't give me no discernment, if he don't give me no vibe that this is true, I'm going to trust my man. I'm going to trust what he's saying, because we together, we have that bond. I know what's going on between me and him. For another man that he knows is your ex and has all the motive to lie, and he believed them over you anyway, that's a problem. Not only is that the problem, he took it to a level of escalating it to putting his hands on you over what another man said. And this other man has all the reason to lie and has no reason to really be honest with your new dude. He wants you. I'm sorry, y'all. A lot of guys with child's fathers, like, when you have a child with a man, those men are probably going to always feel a little bit possessive over you if you've had their baby. Let's just keep it 100. I know children's mothers are on here. That man is going to feel a kind of possessive over you Anyway, like, I don't want you moving on. I don't want you to be serious with nobody else. I want you to still be somewhat there for me, even though I'm be out here in these streets. That's how men are. I see a lot of hearts on the screen. I think y'all see all these hearts on the screen. That's my experience. That's how men will be, okay? Like, listen, I don't want you to move on, but I'm everywhere. I just don't want you to move on. You stay right here. You just stay right there, sis. I don't want you talking to nobody else. But then you got the opposite, double standard, y'all. It's just the plight of a woman. It's a double standard. But nonetheless, in this situation, he's got 5 other kids. You've developed a certain level of trust for him to allow another man, your ex, to have enough power to come into y'all situation and say something to him, and then he decides that he's going to put his hands on you over something he didn't have no proof about, over something that he didn't have no real concrete evidence. Girl, that means in my mind, that's a world of trouble. That's a red flag all in general. Because he put his hands on you, and then on top of him putting his hands on you, you believed another man that would have motivation to lie. I could see if it's a man that it's your ex and he had proof and text messages and pictures and videos. Like, you listen, y'all, when I was married, y'all, women would text me all the time. Oh, this is happening. You gonna have to send me a video. You gonna have to send me text messages. I'm gonna have to see the phone stamp. I'm gonna have to see, like, I'm going to trust my man over this, because I already know how women move. So I'm gonna definitely, like, listen, I'm gonna trust this. I'm gonna go right here with this. Like, you gonna have to show me proof. He didn't even have proof. If it's a big lie, he don't even have proof. The only thing he's standing there and saying, oh, well, she had a child. Oh, she had a child. Well, clearly they slept together. No, you're insecure, bro. And because he was so insecure, he didn't even need no receipts to believe your ex, who could say one thing simply and then decide to put his hands on you. That's where we went left. And that's why I would say it's time to go. It's time to make an executive decision, like I always say. It's not going to be an easy decision. It's not going to be the funnest decision, but it's an executive decision. So y'all, my phone about to die, so I'm about to go switch off. I'll be right back. I'll be back in like a minute, okay? 1 minute. I'll be back for I Was Her. The last 15 minutes of I Was Her. All right? I will see y'all in a second.